So I joined Buckswood in 2021 and was there for 3 years. And within this time, I was, playing abroad with some great players from around the world, and playing against top talent as well, like Ethan Nwaneri, who's now with Arsenal, as you know. And I think we played him in the ISFA Cup in U16, where we ended up winning the whole thing at St. George's Parks. So that was definitely a highlight moment for me during my time in England. And moving on to my last year at Buckswood and also finishing up my high school there. That's when I was able to get trials from European clubs, particularly in Poland for me, as we saw as a great starting point. And after some trials in the summer, I ended up going signing for Polish Premier League club Raków Częstochowa in their U19s. And it's a very exciting club to be in Poland, Polish football. And the first team is high in the table. I think they're currently third, but only a few points from top of the league. And we have a great squad and coaches at the U19s, but really throughout the club. So I'm very grateful to start my career here. Well, I'd say that like the new system of play, while overcoming the language barrier, was quite challenging at first. Still now as well. But I'm very grateful for my teammates and the coaches for their support, which made the transition much smoother. But some things still take some time and takes longer for me to grasp naturally. So that's when I have to go the extra mile and ask more questions or review the game footage again and also doing individual trainings alongside my team sessions. It's a highly competitive environment where everyone's skilled enough to start. So putting in the extra work is essential to keep up and to gain the edge. A really hard language, but I've got like most of the football terms down, I think. Yeah, so I think Bucks would help me prepare for like the realities of pro football and really widen my threshold with the experiences that I wouldn't have had if I just stayed in the US. And I think being away from home and living and training at the school forces you to, be independent and to also find like creative solutions to, try to accomplish your goals. And for example, like I want to train in the morning and before at the Astro before school. Sometimes we were able to get the key, but other times Mr. Sun wouldn't allow me. So I'm very grateful for Mr. Sun for many things, but also this because that's the reality where you don't always get your way. But instead of just like calling it quits and heading back to my room, I would already have like two to three different spots that I could train at, like sports hall, front field, or even the tennis courts. So I think Buckswood has all the facilities you need to improve, but it's more about, how much you're willing to push yourself and use those facilities. Yeah, it's a little bit colder. It's in rainy, similar to England, but I mean, yeah, I think the biggest difference is still like the language barrier for me. Because in England, I was able to speak English and freely, communicate like during play and trainings and games. But in Poland, I kind of need to know exactly what my role is within the system because we have several different, set pieces and strategies and how we build. So. And we get training plans like before each training, and that helps me prepare. And I can also, translate these plans into English, and like the visuals help a lot. But the standards are very high at each session. We have to be 100% focused and know your role. And I think that's also a big jump to the professional academy. And it's, like we get fines for various things, like lateness or not collecting all the equipment, things like that, that the pros also have to deal with. So we all have to be on top of things and, work together. Yeah, I mean, the football culture is amazing here. Like, it's very deeply rooted in Poland, similar to England. But I think that the biggest difference that I can, see is that like they have less restrictions on what the fans can do during games. So oftentimes there's like a lot of flares and tifos, and it's very intense, like with these ultras. And I think these things were banned from England, like after disasters like the Hillsborough disaster. So that's kind of what I didn't see in England, also US, but I see in Poland a lot. So yeah, I mean the Polish fans are very intense and I respect it a lot, but and I also try to go to every home game I can at Raków. I think I've improved hugely, and it's really just like a lot of little details. like like I've been playing the 6-8 role, box midfielder.
Yeah.
So it's just like small things like like the little half turn, or like you gotta like push off your defender to gain to gain extra yards, and it's like all these small details add up to a lot. And as the higher level you go, like these small differences make a huge difference. Small
Yeah.
things, yeah. I mean, it consists of like team training pretty much every day, and it depends on the day of the week. Like the workload, it will differ. So we're ready for the match. So for like Monday and Wednesday, it's very intense, like lots of small side games and big games at the end. And also like we might even do like sprints in between, so it's a lot of work. But Thursday and Friday, that's when we kind of refine things for the match day. So we may split up into like position specific drills, and we might, as midfielders, we might do like combining and then switching play and all these things. And then we'll also do like fragments of the game. So it's like you're building from the back or from the counter attack. You have like 10 seconds to score, 8 seconds to score. And then we'll end it with, set pieces, like corners and free kicks.
Very
And,
good.
we also have like gym sessions and recovery sessions, like stretching and pool weekly. So we're pretty tight schedule. I mean, I've got like a small apartment or like a studio. It's kind of like a one place um place for me. It's near everything, so it's near the pitch, near the gym and everything, so it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's I've adapted well, I think, because I've got like nice teammates. They're nice and we get along well, and
Are
just
they
like
all
in general,
Polish then?
yeah, they're all Polish. I think we have like a few Ukrainians. And
Okay.
then on the U17s, there's actually like a few like Polish Americans.
Right.
But for my team, yeah, yeah, there's not too many foreigners. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think just like being away from home, like at Buckswood, it helped me adapt to this lifestyle easier. And
So
I have
what?
to, I cook my own dinners as well
Oh,
now.
do
So we get
you?
lunch from the club. Breakfast is obviously easy to make, and then dinners I've been making my own. So I've got some solid meals down now. So, like I mentioned, certainly language barrier. And I've done my best to learn like most of the football terms, which helps on the pitch a lot. And I know the basics and swear words, so I
Yeah.
can kind of get along. And then, I think it takes like an average of like 2 years for people to learn Polish fluently. So it's a
Wow.
very tough language, but I've done like Duolingo on that app like every day. I've got like an English to Polish book, and just like being in the environment, I'm learning, certain words and things within the sentences.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up a little bit, and just small things like, for the like Rakov's away matches on TV, I would watch like with the Polish commentators so I can kind of understand some of the football terms. So just
Yeah.
kind of immersing yourself. I mean, I think this summer was a huge challenge for me, because I was trying to find my first team in Europe, and I had successful trials like earlier in the winter and spring. But when it came like summertime, some of these clubs were no longer available, and like there's so many factors that go into whether a club can sign you, and mo a lot of it's not in your control. So I had to quickly learn that I had to only focus on what I can control, and to perform, which was to perform my best at each trial I had. And keep going with the same belief and confidence was kind of difficult, like trial after trial. But eventually you know I guess I learned like it's never as good as it seems, but it's never as bad as it seems. Like you just have to stay consistent. And eventually Rakov, I after a successful trial, I was able to sign with them. Yeah, I mean the short-term goal is like for the this upcoming round, to be successful, win the league, and contribute a lot from a team. And then like just a bit longer term is more about like playing with the reserve team next season and continuing here at Rakov. Mm. I mean, there's so many players I look up to, and Stu keeps sending me more and more every day from the past that I never knew. So, but I've always looked up to Kevin De Bruyne. Like I admire his like creativity and his passes that no one else can see. But I guess more recently, like I play box to box midfielder now, so I've been impressed with like Ryan Gravenberch this season, who's been excellent. Also like Jude Bellingham, who's a great all-around player. But also like Rako's center mid, his name's Gustav Berggren. He's a Swedish player and he's very good, so I watch him very closely. I'd say like stay curious and believe in yourself because it won't be like a straight path, but it's more like a roller coaster with so many ups and downs. And like whenever you feel like everything's going well, then that's when you hit the wall and you have to overcome, the challenges. So, and it keeps happening over and over. So it really is like a roller coaster. You just have to stay consistent and believe in yourself at all times. And also, ask a lot of questions to your coaches and, from yourself, like how you can improve on every day. So I think that's my advice that I've learned.